So you're aiming for a top score in the IELTS writing test. To do that, you absolutely have to understand how your essay is marked. Well, today we're cracking the code on the official examiner's checklist. Let's get right into it. Does this sound a little too familiar? You're fluent in English, you know you can write well, but for some reason your IELTS writing score just seems to be stuck, parked at a 6.5. Let me tell you, it is an incredibly common and really frustrating problem. So that leads to the big question, right? If your English is great, why isn't that enough to get a high band score? A lot of people believe that fluency is the only thing that matters, but honestly, that is a common and very costly mistake. The real reason so many fluent writers get stuck at that 6.5 plateau is because they're missing the strategic formula the examiner is specifically looking for. See, the IELTS writing test isn't just a test of your English skills. It's a test of how well you can follow a very, very specific set of instructions. And we are about to reveal that exact formula. But before we do, if you're finding these explainers helpful, do me a small favor and hit that subscribe button right now. That way, my latest strategies will get to you the moment they're posted. Okay, ready? Let's get back to unmasking this secret formula. So, what is this all-important formula? Well, today we're unmasking it, and it's not some big secret or hidden mystery. It's the official marking guide that every single examiner uses. Think of it as their secret checklist, and once you understand it, you change the entire game. I want you to just imagine the examiner sitting down with your essay. In their mind, they've got this checklist. They are actively looking for very specific things, and for each one they find, they get to tick a box. Our job, your job, is to give them everything they need to tick all the boxes for a top score. This secret checklist has an official name. It's called the Assessment Rubric. And here's a really key point. This rubric is identical for both the academic and the general training modules. So no matter which test you're taking, these are the rules. Understanding this rubric is what turns a good piece of writing into a high-scoring script. The rubric is basically built on 4 pillars, and we can group them into 2 main areas. Let's start with the first one, structure and task. This is all about what you write and how you organize it. This covers 2 of the criteria, task response and coherence and cohesion. Okay, this is so important. For task response, you have to, must, address every single part of the question. If you miss just one piece, you can't get top marks. And whatever you do, don't wander off topic or fall short of the word count. That's the absolute fastest way to lose points. Then, for coherence, you want to use clear paragraphs and logical linking words like consequently or furthermore. Avoid those long, tangled sentences that make your ideas hard to follow. Remember, clarity is king. Now look at this. This is a perfect example of how to address the task right from the very first sentence. It is direct, it's clear, and it's complete. It immediately signals to the examiner that you know exactly what you're doing. There's no fluff, just the essential information. All right, let's move on to our second area, language and precision. This covers the other 2 pillars of the rubric, lexical resource, which is just a fancy term for your vocabulary, and grammatical range and accuracy. You know, the biggest mistake people make here is trying way too hard to sound advanced. For vocabulary, you need to prioritize precision. Use the right word in the right formal context. Don't just stuff your essay with fancy words if they don't really fit. And for grammar, yes, you should use a variety of structures, but never sacrifice accuracy for complexity. A broken, complex sentence is always worse than a perfect, simple one. And this table here shows you exactly what we mean by using a formal register. Instead of saying to help, you could write assist. Instead of next, you might use subsequently. Choosing the more formal word shows the examiner that you can adapt your language to the right academic context, and that's a key skill they're looking for. So you see, understanding this rubric isn't just theory. It's a fundamental shift in how you need to approach the writing test. It gives you a clear, practical roadmap to getting that higher score. Your next step is to actually start using it. And to help you do just that, in our next explainer, we're going to get really specific. We'll be focusing on task 1 for the academic module, where we will master the art of writing the overview. That's what's going to make sure your data description starts on a really high note. So definitely stay tuned for that one. So if there's one thing you take away from this, let it be this. The secret to a higher band score isn't about using the biggest words or the most complicated sentences. It's about giving the examiner exactly what they're looking for based on their own checklist. So stop writing to impress, start writing to the rubric.